Have you ever seen a woman walk out of a salon looking 10 years younger, not because she colored her hair or had cosmetic work done, but because of one simple haircut? Now, here's the surprising part. Another woman can ask for almost the exact same bob haircut and leave looking older. The difference isn't age. It isn't expensive products. And it isn't even the stylist. It's one small detail that most women never think to ask for. In fact, many women over 60 unknowingly request bob haircuts that flatten their hair, emphasize the jawline, and make thinning hair even more noticeable. Yet with just a few adjustments, that same haircut can create softer features, fuller-looking hair, and a noticeably fresher appearance. Today, we're counting down 7 bob haircuts that professional stylists repeatedly recommend because they work with mature hair, not against it. And don't miss the final style, because it's the one many experienced stylists quietly recommend when women say, "I want to look younger, but I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard." If elegant fashion, timeless hairstyles, and practical beauty advice for women over 60 are exactly what you've been looking for, I'd love to welcome you to Crowned in Elegance. Every week, we share ideas designed specifically for mature women who want to look polished, confident, and effortlessly stylish. Before we begin, tell me in the comments which describes your hair today: fine, thick, naturally gray, or somewhere in between. I genuinely love to know. Before we start the countdown, let me share one stylist secret that surprises many women. Most people believe a younger-looking hairstyle is all about cutting the hair shorter. It isn't. Professional stylists rarely focus on length first. They focus on shape. Why? Because after 60, hair often becomes finer, softer, and less dense. At the same time, facial contours naturally change. A haircut that created balance at 40 may no longer create the same effect 20 years later. That's why the right bob doesn't simply remove length. It creates lift. It creates movement. It creates the illusion of fuller hair. And perhaps most importantly, it draws attention toward your eyes, instead of the areas you may feel less confident about. Now, let's begin with a haircut that's often overlooked, but deserves much more attention. Number 7, the soft layered bob. Here's something many women don't realize. Layers can either make your hair look wonderfully full or surprisingly thin. The difference comes down to how they're cut. Many salons still remove too much weight when layering mature hair. While the intention is usually to add volume, the result is often the opposite. Hair begins to look wispy, the ends appear sparse, and styling becomes more difficult every morning. That's exactly why the soft layered bob has become such a favorite among experienced stylists. Instead of dramatic layers, this cut uses gentle internal layering to create natural movement while keeping enough weight through the ends to maintain the appearance of healthy, fuller hair. If your biggest concern is that your hair seems flatter than it used to, this haircut can make a remarkable difference. Women with oval, round, or heart-shaped faces often find it especially flattering because the soft movement around the cheeks naturally creates balance while avoiding harsh lines that can emphasize mature features. One stylist shared that many clients arrive asking for more layers when what they actually need is fewer but better placed ones. That single adjustment often makes their hair appear noticeably thicker before they've even picked up a styling brush. When you visit your stylist, avoid asking for lots of layers. Instead, ask for soft internal layers that preserve fullness around the perimeter while creating gentle movement through the crown. At home, you don't need an elaborate routine. A lightweight volumizing mousse applied at the roots, followed by a quick blow dry with a round brush, is often enough. If your hair has a natural wave, even better. That texture becomes one of this haircut's greatest strengths. But what if your goal isn't just movement? What if you want your hair to look noticeably richer and thicker the moment someone sees you? That's exactly where our next hairstyle shines. Number 6, the Italian bob. If there's one haircut that quietly says luxury without looking overstyled, it's the Italian bob. It doesn't rely on dramatic layers or trendy techniques. Instead, it creates the impression of healthy, expensive-looking hair simply through its shape. And here's why that matters. As hair becomes finer, one of the first things we lose is visual density. Individual strands may still be healthy, but the overall silhouette becomes smaller. The Italian bob solves that beautifully. Its fuller outline and softly blunt ends create the illusion that you have much more hair than you actually do. That's one reason so many women walk out of the salon wondering why everyone keeps complimenting their hair, even though they didn't change the color at all. The shape did the work. This style is especially flattering if your hair naturally falls straight or with a slight wave. It also pairs beautifully with silver, salt and pepper, champagne blonde, or softly blended gray because its clean silhouette allows healthy shine to become the star of the look. Women who wear glasses often discover another unexpected benefit. The smooth lines of the haircut naturally frame eyewear without competing for attention, creating a polished appearance that feels elegant rather than busy. If you're considering this style, ask your stylist for a softly textured Italian bob with minimal layering and fullness through the ends. Those few words can completely change the final result. One common mistake is overstyling it. This haircut isn't supposed to look stiff or overly curled. A smooth blow-dry with gentle body creates the sophisticated finish that makes this style so timeless. Now, if you think elegance has to mean polished and structured, the next hairstyle might completely change your mind. It's inspired by one of the most effortlessly stylish cities in the world, and it proves that looking younger sometimes comes from looking a little less perfect. Number 5, the French bob. If you've ever admired a woman whose hair looked effortlessly chic, chances are she wasn't trying to make it look perfect. That's the quiet magic of the French bob. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes women make after 60 is believing every strand has to stay perfectly in place. Ironically, that pursuit of perfection can make a hairstyle look stiff and dated. The French bob does the opposite. It embraces softness, subtle texture, and movement, creating a style that feels fresh rather than forced. Instead of asking people to notice your haircut, it simply makes your entire face appear brighter. That's why this style has remained fashionable for decades, while countless trends have come and gone. If your cheekbones are one of your favorite features, or you'd like to draw attention away from your neck and toward your eyes, this haircut does exactly that. Its chin-length shape naturally lifts the eye upward, creating balance without relying on dramatic layers. Adding wispy or side-swept bangs can make the effect even more flattering. Rather than hiding your forehead completely, they gently soften expression lines while keeping your face open and bright. Here's another stylist secret. Many women ask for heavy bangs because they think more hair means more coverage. In reality, lighter bangs often create a younger appearance because they allow light to reach the face instead of casting shadows across it. The French bob isn't ideal for everyone, though. If your hair is very thick or tightly curled, you'll likely need extra styling to maintain its signature silhouette. That's why it's always worth discussing small adjustments with your stylist instead of asking for an exact copy of someone else's haircut. When describing this style, ask for a softly textured chin-length bob with light movement around the face and minimal weight at the ends. Those details help create that effortless Parisian look people admire. And remember, this haircut isn't meant to look overly polished. A touch of texture often makes it even more beautiful. Now, if your biggest concern has nothing to do with elegance and everything to do with making fine hair appear fuller, the next style may be the one you've been waiting for. Number 4, the textured chin-length bob. Imagine looking in the mirror and feeling like your hair suddenly has twice the movement it had yesterday. That's the effect many women notice after switching to a textured chin-length bob. The beauty of this haircut isn't that it creates more hair. It's that it creates the illusion of more hair. Those two things are very different. Instead of allowing the hair to fall into one solid shape, carefully placed texture creates tiny pockets of movement that catch the light. That added dimension makes even fine hair appear noticeably fuller. A stylist once shared the story of a client in her late 60s who arrived convinced she needed expensive hair extensions. Her biggest complaint was that her hair looked flat no matter what she tried. Instead of adding more hair, the stylist simply reshaped her existing bob, softened the outline around her face, and introduced gentle texture. When she looked in the mirror, she smiled and said, "It finally looks like me again. Not younger, not trendier, just refreshed." That's exactly what the right haircut should do. This style is particularly flattering if you're embracing your natural gray because texture allows silver tones to reflect light beautifully, adding natural depth without relying on heavy coloring. One mistake to avoid is asking for aggressive texturizing. Too much can weaken the shape and make fine hair appear thinner over time. Instead, think soft movement, not choppy layers. Before we reveal our top 3, here's one mistake that quietly ages thousands of women every single year. They ask for the haircut, but they never explain what they want the haircut to accomplish. That's a huge difference. Don't simply say, "I'd like a bob." Tell your stylist your goal. Do you want fuller looking hair? A softer jawline? More volume at the crown? Less styling every morning? The more clearly you describe the result you want, the easier it becomes for your stylist to personalize the haircut specifically for you. And now we reach the styles that many experienced stylists recommend most often. If you enjoy practical style advice like this, that's created specifically for mature women, not just passing trends, consider subscribing. Every new video is designed to help you make confident beauty choices that truly work for this stage of life. Number 3, the angled bob. Some hairstyles make your hair look better. Others make your entire face look different. The angled bob belongs in the second category. Its slightly shorter back and longer front create gentle vertical lines that naturally elongate the face. That's why many women feel they look slimmer almost immediately after getting this cut. The change isn't dramatic, it's subtle. But sometimes subtle changes create the biggest impact. Women with round or fuller face shapes often love this haircut because it adds definition without looking severe. It also pairs beautifully with glasses. The longer front sections frame the face gracefully while allowing your eyewear to become part of the overall look instead of competing with your hairstyle. One thing many people don't realize is that the angle should remain soft. An overly dramatic angle can feel dated and difficult to style. A gentle graduation creates a much more timeless appearance. This is also one of the easiest styles to dress up or down. Whether you're wearing jeans and a sweater or attending a formal dinner, it always feels appropriate. But while this haircut creates beautiful definition, our next style solves a completely different problem, one that millions of women notice as they get older: loss of volume at the crown. And that's exactly where it excels. Stay with me, because the final 2 hairstyles consistently receive some of the highest praise from professional stylists working with mature clients. Number 2, the stacked bob. If you've ever looked at the back of your hair and wished it had a little more lift, the stacked bob was practically designed for you. Its carefully graduated layers build natural volume, where many women lose it first at the crown. Instead of relying on teasing or heavy styling sprays, the haircut itself creates the shape. That's one of the reasons experienced stylists recommend it so often. When the haircut does the work, your morning routine becomes much easier. Women with fine, straight hair often see the biggest transformation because the stacked shape gives their hair structure that wasn't there before. It also creates a youthful profile from every angle, not just the front. To keep that beautiful shape, plan for a trim every 6 to 8 weeks. Waiting too long allows the graduation to grow out, and the haircut gradually loses the lift that makes it so effective. And now we've reached the hairstyle that quietly combines nearly everything women over 60 ask for: softness, volume, elegance, easy maintenance, and a naturally youthful appearance. Number 1, the soft graduated bob. If I could recommend just one bob to the widest range of women over 60, this would almost certainly be it. Not because it's trendy, but because it works again and again, across different face shapes, different hair colors, different lifestyles. The soft graduated bob succeeds because it doesn't rely on dramatic styling to create its impact. Instead, it gently builds shape where it's needed, keeps fullness through the ends, and creates movement that looks completely natural. The result is hair that appears healthier, thicker, and effortlessly elegant. One of its greatest strengths is how beautifully it frames the face. The soft graduation draws attention toward your eyes and cheekbones while subtly softening the jawline and neckline. It never looks like it's trying too hard, and that's exactly why it looks so sophisticated. Women transitioning to gray often find this haircut especially flattering because it showcases healthy silver tones while allowing the shape itself to become the focus. When speaking with your stylist, don't stop at saying, "I'd like a graduated bob." Instead, ask for a soft, graduated bob with invisible internal layers, natural crown volume, and gentle face-framing movement. Those details transform a good haircut into a truly personalized one. Here's one final stylist secret. The biggest mistake women make isn't choosing the wrong haircut. It's asking for the right haircut the wrong way. A single haircut can look completely different depending on how it's customized for your hair density, face shape, and daily routine. That's why communication is just as important as the haircut itself. Before we finish, here are a few quick bonus tips. If you're considering bangs, wispy or side-swept styles usually create the softest, most flattering effect. For color, soft silver, champagne blonde, warm brunette, gray blending, and delicate face-framing highlights all add beautiful dimension without looking harsh. And finally, don't choose your next haircut simply because it looks beautiful on someone else. Choose the one that complements the woman you are today, because true elegance isn't about looking 20 again. It's about looking like the very best version of yourself. If there's one thing I hope you remember from today's video, it's this. The secret to looking younger isn't finding the shortest haircut or the latest trend. It's choosing a shape that's designed for your hair, your face, and your lifestyle. If you found today's guide helpful, I'd love to have you join us by subscribing for more elegant style advice created exclusively for women over 60. And now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 7 bob haircuts would you actually consider trying? Or is there one you've already fallen in love with? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience could inspire another woman who's looking for her next hairstyle. And if someone you care about has been thinking about refreshing her look, send this video to her. Sometimes the right haircut isn't just a new style. It can be the beginning of a whole new level of confidence. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. Until next time, stay elegant, stay confident, and I'll see you in the next Crowned in Elegance.